So you've just got done with your shoot, you got the footage transferred and rendered into Premiere. Now how are we going to turn this into a speed ramp? What's good everybody, my name's Chance and that's exactly what we'll be covering today. If you missed last week's episode, I showed you how to get started filming speed ramps, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't yet. It'll help this video make a little bit more sense. So we're going to start sorting through the footage, cutting out any clips we think we'll be using. Using C for the cut tool and V to select, we want to bring our selections a track or two above everything to make it easier to select once we're done. Once you've gone through the footage, I like to sort my clips by shot type. I'll sort my pushes, my orbits, my wide shots into different groups to help find them later when I'm making the edit. Once that's complete, I'll take my song and mark out the beats I'm wanting to use for the edit. To set a marker, select the audio track and then hit M. It'll place a marker at your playhead. I'll then start to combine clips I think will flow into each other, like we mentioned last week. For simplicity, we're just going to be using the footage from our last tutorial in this edit. Now that I have a good idea of what I'm working with, I'll select the audio and clips and right click and hit render and replace with After Effects composition. This will bring up an After Effects project with your footage and the music. Notice how in your Premiere project the music is still there, so don't worry, it's not going anywhere. From here I'll immediately bring out a set of guides to let me know where the center of the frame is. If you do it after you start pre-composing layers, it won't carry over into those layers and you'll need to set the frames up again in every comp. Hopefully this little tip saves you some time because it's definitely cost me some. Speaking of pre-composing, that's exactly what we're going to be doing with these clips. Once we have them all pre-composed, we'll double click on the comp and select the tracker tab, or we'll apply Mocha depending on what we're using as the focal point. For headlights, rims, or anything else with a simple shape, I like to use Mocha. You can make a selection to track instead of just a point. If I'm tracking over something smaller, like a front emblem or a body panel, I'll use the standard stabilizer track. Now that all of our clips have been stabilized, we can start speed ramping. To start, we'll need to enable time remapping, so hit Alt-Control-T on PC or Option-Command-T on Mac. Two keyframes should appear. Align the keyframes with where you want them to fall and bring up the value graph in the graph editor. This will change the speed at which the clip plays. The more vertical the line, the faster, while the flatter the line, the slower it'll play. Play around with this for a minute just to get comfortable with it and see how it affects your clip. For this clip, I'm going to have it slow, fast, slow, which looks like this. Notice how the handles are angled. That way it's more of a smooth motion and less of a jerk motion. The more vertical you make those, the harsher it'll be. But for this clip, we'll use 3 keyframes, with the middle one being offset just by a little bit. The goal is to have the shot swoop, hang for a moment, and as the momentum carries it back, we'll transition to the next shot in our edit. While filming this, I took this wide orbit from the wrong side, but using editing, we're still able to make it work. If we haven't color graded our footage, now is a great time to do it, and we're ready for export. Simply save the project and open Premiere back up. You will see a little syncing symbol down at the bottom. Once that's done, your composition should be synced between After Effects and Premiere. Now, some of you may be asking about different effects like the blur I add or how to mask out rims. Don't worry. That's exactly what we'll be covering in the next tutorial, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and I sincerely hope I helped your creative journey. Please leave a comment with any questions, and until next time, take it easy.